All right, guys, it's a really, really nice day. Um, Spent most of the morning running around. I took my wife to drop off her car to get a remote start. You might be asking yourself, why didn't you do it yourself? Well, it's my wife's car. Guess what? If something goes wrong with it, I automatically assume responsibility. So it came with a warranty. I'm no fool. I paid for it. Well, helped her paid for it because she felt bad because it was a lot more than she thought for the one she wanted. So I got a nice, honest woman. So did that. We cleaned our yard, did a bunch of leaves and stuff, and I'm over here getting this ready. I don't know how good you guys can see it, but there's paw marks ever so slightly on this. So even though this is prepped, I'm going to wipe it down again, give it a quick little scuff. Like right here, you see that smudge? That's like a big paw print. They're all over the place from me doing my thing yesterday. So this has to get. I have to wipe it down, give it a quick little dry scuff, and wipe it down with wax and grease remover. Now another important thing, I'm using the same gun I used for base coat as for clear coat, and there's nothing wrong with that. In a production shop, the only problem is it's time consuming to clean your gun between, stuff. I mean, you do have some flash time that you can take advantage of, but it's not ideal. So most painters, you're going to see at minimum have at least two guns, a clear gun and a paint gun. And for me, the problem is I don't use my gun a whole lot. So sometimes you get a very, very minimal amount of paint that sticks to the needle or something. And guess what? Once you start cycling chemicals through it, like clear and stuff, it gets loose and it flies out in your clear. So I have to take the time and go through my gun. I'm going to take it apart, clean it, get it ready, and maybe I'll do a little video showing you guys how to do all that stuff. But I did have to go buy a brush to clean it and a little bit of lacquer thinner because I was running low. Now you might be saying to yourself, why didn't you clean your gun? Well, the base coat, we were doing a bunch of layers, so the little dusties get hidden. But with clear, I'm going to get dust in here. There's no doubt about it because I don't have any airflow in here. So whatever is in the air is stagnant and it just kind of lingers, but nothing major. I've painted stuff in here and it usually comes up pretty good. You get like manageable dirt nibs, like what most shops would get in a average booth. Now some kick-ass booths, there's guys who can just spray it, and if the orange peel matches and it has like no dust, they just send it without buffing it, which is actually better because it won't haze up later unless the chemicals are shitty. But either way, I'm gonna get this up, get this clean. I'll show you guys what I'm going to be using for material, and hopefully in a couple of hours this will be cleared up. We'll let it sit for a couple of hours and move it back and then roll our cars back in. So it's really nice out. Both cars are sitting outside, so we'll let you guys go. All right, guys, I'm sitting here on my knees, and that is not a sexual joke either. As you can see, my bench is pretty full, waiting on bearings for that 347, so it's on hold. So I got my gun apart. You can see the inside's got quite a bit of metallic buildup. So the last time I used this paint gun, I painted JJ's hood, his big ram air hood. And there's still some blue metallic in there. It wasn't flying out or anything, so I'm going to clean this out, obviously. So last time I cleaned it, I believe it ran long, and I just did a quick rinse, throw a rag in there with a little bit of lacquer thinner, and I never revisited it. So it is time to clean it. I should maintain my paint gun a little bit better, but this is a great gun. For anybody who's going to do any painting at work, the Phoenix 3000 is a really good economy gun that will lay out a really, really nice paint job. Bought this about 8 years ago for about 180. I just bought the paint gun, but they do have kits with a paint and a primer gun, and really cannot beat the price and the quality. You can buy a SATA for like 800, but really for me it's not justified. Maybe if I paint it every day, but even then, I think there's better guns out there. I'm not a SATA guy. I always like the what do you call it? The God damn it, I can't. There's the Technolite was my favorite gun when I was just starting to shoot waterborne. That was very short-lived though. So either way, got my needle in there, fluid cap, brand new brush, just cleaning out stuff. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up, get ready, mix up some clear, and we'll start spraying. All right, guys, I am human, and I'm clearing this. Now, if you guys go back earlier this year, you guys saw that I painted another one of these hoods for my friend JJ, who you guys saw a lot of during Project Enron. And You know, every painter has their day. Well, I'm really not a painter. I know how to paint, but my bread and butter is doing body work. Of course, you know, you have to know how to paint. So, well, not really, but most body men do know how to paint, just not what we really want to do. So, let me go back here a little bit. So yesterday, I went out and I bought some clear. I'm used to using like low-end products, right? So I went to the local store that sells Sherwin-Williams products, and I used the Finish One Clear. I've used the Finish One Clear in the past, but I've used their high solids and their spot clear. And today I figure I'll use their overall clear. You know, this is a bigger panel. It's not really a spot repair. And you can see in the reflection what I'm going to talk about right now. So this clear is really thin. On my first coat, it went pretty good. And then when I got to that side, I realized, oh shit, this is like spraying water. And I've never sprayed this overall clear before. Now, with the Finish One material, it's really easy to remember because they usually have colors on their logos. So there's yellow, blue, red. I've used the blue, which is heavy. I've used the red. The yellow is like their overall, apparently. And, oh boy, we got some runs. And, you know, it's not the worst of it. Like, that one there will be easy to fix. This one back here should be good to fix. And on this side, as you guys got to see, I got the heater cranked up because I'm trying to get this stuff to dry. I'm adding layers of clear here to cover my ass when I go to sand this. Now, should be okay to fix. Like, this isn't going to fucking ruin anything. I'm a little upset about it, but I thought it'd be a really good point to show you guys that, you know, we fuck up. Everybody fucks up, and I'm not afraid to say it. So I'm not happy about this because I've sprayed a lot of stuff over the last, a lot of stuff. I've done repairs on my sister's car. I did JJ's hood. I've done stuff and never had problems. Well, of course, something that I was really, this is probably the worst of it, but it's actually really thin. That stuff should be able to block out. Now, what I'm going to end up using is going to be a sanding stone for that. Yeah, it's like a metal. It's like a little file, and not metal. They do have metal files. They're denibbers, but I'm going to end up using it's like a whetstone, and it just blocks out the run. And then once you get it somewhat close, you finish it off with a little 800. You work your way down. So the whole game plan here is to get enough coats of clear here to cover my ass. This is a fucking lake back here, but it should be fine. It's starting to level off now that I got some heat in here. And not that it wasn't hot in here. It was 70 degrees and I'm using a medium activator. It should have been fine. But this clear is just water and I've never used it. So, you know, our local X-Carquest, which is advanced, carries less and less stuff. And whatever they do have, they're holding for body shops because they don't really sell a whole lot anymore. So I didn't want to go there because I knew the place that I wanted to go to had everything, but I had to use the Sherwin-Williams product, which I've used in the past. It's not bad. Sherwin-Williams has really good automotive finishes. You gotta like it. And when I worked at Lexus, that's how we sprayed, so I got used to it. But yeah, this is one of those moments where if you're not used to the material, you should probably do a test pattern. I just went balls out and started spraying. And what I'm used to spraying for clear, it's like, oh, fuck. So this stuff is like water. But it's, you know, we're making do here, and we're taking our time to make sure that we leave ourselves enough material and a window to fix it. As you guys can hear me walking. That's how the clear overspray. That's why I pull the cars out. You can hear that's how sticky it is. So, but yeah, it is what it is, man. That's life. And you know, the unfortunate part is I'm like, man, am I really about this paint job? Do I really, really like it? And after I cleared it on that first coat, I'm like, oh my God, it came to life. Like all the colors just popped and the hood popped and everything. And I'm like, this was perfect. And it is what it is. I may have to re-clear it depending on how it looks. And the reason you do that is you get your runs down for the most part, and then you sand it again, you just re-clear it. So if we have to, we will. At this point, I have all winter. I don't care. If I have to fix the one panel, then so be it. I'm not really too happy with these at the back. So I may do something there if I re-clear it. I may tape it off and fix it. But I think our first attempt is going to be to fix this, and I think it's going to be a really good thing to show you guys. You know, we're going to turn our little mistake here, and we're going to fix it. So this is what happens, and it happens in shops every fucking day. I don't care how long you've been painting. I don't care how good you are. This is going to happen. It's bound to happen. You know, for me, I don't really paint. And of course, when something like this does happen, I'm glad it happened to me, because I would be completely heartbroken if this would have happened on JJ's hood, or like my sister's car, where, you know, you're trying to help somebody out and you're usually trying to slam it out to get it out of your life. No offense to anybody who I've helped out over the years, but usually you try to help people out in a timely manner, not drag it out. So at least it happened to me, and it is what it is. We'll fix it. We'll get it going. But as you guys can see, it's cleared. It looks good. You know, I'm not going to blame the product. I'm just not used to it. Like, whoever uses this product daily knows that you got to move and you got to just lay it on. It levels off. When you spray it, it looks really dry and it levels off. And I'm used to, like, you know, if it looks dry, you got to make sure your overlap is going to make it level off. Otherwise, it's just not going to look good. And in this case, I'm not going to worry about it. What I'm going to worry about is just making sure we got enough material on there to sand it and polish it and bring it back to life. But overall, you know what? It looks good. I'm happy. Just one little hurdle, but you know what? We got all winter, so I'm not going to stress it. I'm not going to worry about it. I was really worried about it. I almost didn't make this video, but you know what? I said, fuck it. I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I'm not perfect. I am human, just like anybody else out there, so cheers. All right, guys. This is take number 2. My last one was too long. You guys know I like to fucking talk way too much, so either way, it's clear, and we're in the green. So let me show you. The runs that were here were more profound. After adding 3 more layers of clear after our first one, I did an extra coat. They're pretty decently flat, so those should be able to sand. And now these, you could still see the shape of the hangers, but they're covered in 3 coats of clear. So you can see as the reflection changes that they're not as profound as their shape, so they should be good. My only areas of concern are going to be right here and right here, because it's a concave and convex area, really hard to sand. The only other run that I have to take care of is this little guy, and really, we saved it. We turned it around. It could have gone either way. I kind of had like an oh shit moment where I was like, oh fuck, but it's my fault. I'm not going to blame the material like everybody else. I used the material that I was not used to. I did not move fast enough, and I quickly realized that the rest of the coats, no problem. I should have done a test panel because it was new material. When you guys at home spray material, do a test pattern. I got cocky. I got comfortable. This is the first thing I have ever run this bad in a very long time. But I don't paint every day. And usually the material that I do use, I'm pretty good with. I'm used to it. I usually use something. I use the different Finish One material, and it's my fault. I should have, done it a little differently. But you know what? We turned it around, and I'm happy with it. Everything looks great. These runs that were here are almost gone. You could barely see them, so that's not even an issue. So really, we got 4 good coats of clear. I had the garage up to about 90 degrees. I shut the heater off. It gets hot in here fast. The insulation helps. So, again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're going to take care of these runs, and I'm going to show you guys. This is something really good to show you guys, because I wouldn't call this a rookie mistake, but this is probably what most rookies are afraid of, is getting runs, because it's like, oh man. No, there's ways to take care of this stuff, and it's not the end of the world. And in my mind, I was very disappointed, but you know what? This is real. Shit happens, and you know what? I'm not gonna take it for granted that I do this for a living. I may not paint every day, but I know how to paint. I've painted a lot of stuff. I painted JJ's hood, and it turned out pretty good. We got a couple dirt nibs as expected, but no runs. I fixed my sister's car. I've done a lot of stuff here that I haven't recorded, and no issues. And like anybody else, I love what I do. I would love to make excuses, but it's partially my fault. Well, it's mostly my fault. I should have known better. Let me take that back. I'm still trying to make excuses. But no, the reality is that I fucked up. I should have known my material better. I should have planned better. But you know what? It's not the end of the world. It's to me, this is cool. We're gonna fix this. When I first saw the runs, I was fucking heartbroken. I'm like, God damn it, my whole weekend just fell apart here. But no, we're gonna prevail here, and we're gonna save it. And I also wanted to touch on a subject. There was a member on a forum. I believe he's got a YouTube page. I think. Well, I won't speak too soon because I'm making this before he gets to me. But quick review on the GlassTec hood. He asked me, how does it fit? Now, let me explain something to you guys. Guys either love this hood or hate this hood. Now, if you guys want a show quality, OEM quality hood, Thornton's is about as good as it's going to get. The GlassTec hood is a fiberglass racing reproduction. GlassTec specializes in racing fiberglass. It is thinner. It's not nearly as thick, but you know what? It's very close. A couple of areas of concern, and these are noted almost across the Oldsmobile world. This corner here is always a little off to the fender. Some hoods have a little hump in the middle. Mine is more profound because it sat on a wall for a really long time and it also flew off of a car. But if you want a hood, this hood I believe costs about $1,200. This hood, the tall ram air scoop for $1,200, and you don't want to do a lot of work, it'll look good. It'll look very presentable. Most guys who know car parts will more than understand that, you know, it's fiberglass, especially racing fiberglass. Fiberglass constantly moves. So honestly, for the money, the quality is there. GlassTec for fiberglass racing stuff is top notch in my book, not only because they're local, but because I have used a lot of their products over the years. I have put a lot of their products on other cars. My car, let me take you here, the Wayback Machine, which is on my wall. So, in this configuration here, this whole front end was fiberglass, the fenders and the hood. In this one, it was all steel. Let's see, do we go up here? And that was all fiberglass. These are really old pictures. So, I've had various Rammer hoods. I constantly used to change my mind. So I have had a pin-on Rammer hood. I have had a bolt-on Rammer hood. I had another bolt-on Rammer hood. And then I got this one. And that's where I'm at. So I've used their products quite a bit. I've worked on quite a few cars with their products, and they fit pretty good. Don't expect OE. Don't expect show car. For a nice cruiser custom vibe, it is perfect. It's not going to be a perfect fit. You also got to remember that not every single piece that's made is going to be exact. Fiberglass moves around. Unless you scientifically mix up that resin, it ain't going to be the same every time. And let me tell you, when guys mix up resin, it ain't on a scale. You're using a cup like I did mixing my clear. I'm not bashing them, but that's just the way it goes. Temperature affects it. The way it sits affects it. How you store it affects it. How it's on the car affects it. The sun, if it sits out in the sun, this thing's going to move. Okay? And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but if it's unloaded, the fiberglass is going to move whatever way it wants. If it's on a wall, whichever side is heaviest is going to stretch out the fiberglass hood, which is what happened here. Because I have a big hump in the middle. This hood used to fit great, and I know this because I bought this hood from a gentleman that my friend did work for, so I know the whole history of this hood, even though we fixed it. And but that's just a little wrap up on that, I guess. I have had other people ask me about the quality of GlassTec products, and in my opinion, they're top notch. They work. I have no affiliation with them, but I have used them various times. JJ's hood that I painted, just like this, but blue and silver, was GlassTec, and friends of mine have used GlassTec, and their products are really, really nice. You can usually get them to fit very, very good and more than presentable. So take that with a grain of salt, you guys. If you guys want to use a hood like this, it's all fiberglass. There's no steel underneath. GlassTec doesn't do that. Thornton does that. So great quality. Again, I fixed this. This is a GlassTec hood, but I've purchased from them in the past, and I saved this hood from being junk. And we'll let you guys go. Share, like, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram as Copper Cutlass. If you guys really want to follow on Facebook, you can follow at Copper's Garage. And if there's enough interest, I'll start posting stuff up there too. So let me know, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Next step is we're going to sand it and buff it and show you guys how we fix it.